It's James Prigioni coming to you live from Jersey. I'm in Zone 6B. Today is November 4th. If you've seen some of my videos, you know that I do some how-tos. But a video like this today is to show you that what I'm saying in those videos actually works. I'm not just reading that and reciting it. I'm putting that to action and I'm experiencing it and showing you that it actually does work. You don't have to fight against nature. You can work with nature. Let's go. There's been a lot of monarch butterflies this year, more than previous years. It's nice having them around. They love the zinnias. Some big bumblebees are still working. Even though we just had our first frost last night, it was only a light one. Got this young grape right here growing up against the greenhouse, recycled window greenhouse. And that's going to be meeting up with the other grapes here. So this thing is going to be covered in grapes in the future. One of the ideas with that is these grapes are deciduous, so in the winter they'll drop all their leaves like they are, allowing light to come through, heat up the greenhouse. But in the summer, the leaves will all cover here. That'll shade it, keep the greenhouse cooler. That'll work out nice for us. And this is all just densely planted in polyculture. A lot of perennials in here. That's a main focus. As you walk through here, you guys will notice, if I never did anything again, if I walked away from this, there would still be a lot of food getting produced in here. Gotta have that thick mulch down. Some of my mulch is, I need to come and put some more down soon though, because it's getting thin, because it breaks down so quick. The funguses do so much work, and you're just building amazing soil easily. And look at that, I'm digging up potatoes that are gonna be growing for next year. In that same section. I'm gonna put that back. And there's more potatoes. That's because I planted and harvested those potatoes at the same time. And this hazelnut should produce good for us next year. Produce a small crop this year, but I'm expecting big things soon. Underneath the trees, you'll see we've always got stuff planted. Getting that extra yield. Raspberries underneath this nectarine tree. Grown beautifully. Underneath all the trees, you'll see we've got everything growing. All growing together, just like it does in a natural forest. Just mimicking a natural forest. That's what we're doing with this food forest. Even the echinacea is still doing well coming through. A beautiful perennial flower, one that you guys have to have in your food forest with how much beneficials it brings in, how beautiful it is, and how little work it is. And a lot of this stuff is self-seeded too, like these cherry tomatoes here, all self-seeded, getting harvest from them underneath an apple tree. And that apple tree needs to be pruned. A lot of these trees in here need to be pruned. They're growing so quick. Now that my soil is just getting better and better every year from spending so much time building it, from doing the work, the investments of putting the wood chips in. I guess I can't really call it much work. It's just, you know, bringing in carts of wood chips and organic matter. And if you guys think you have to have wood chips, then you're not getting it as much. I guess I'm not conveying the message as good as I would like to, because it's not just about the wood chips. It's about any organic matter mulch. It's going to break down. Just like in a natural forest, it's mostly all leaves. It's got twigs and sticks too, but it's all the organic matter, creating the perfect ideal system for all life. And life supports life. So some of this kale that I transplanted in is doing well still, and I've been eating it. Not a lot, but eating, coming, grabbing some. My favorite kind of kale, the dino kale. Getting bitten up a little bit, and the reason I think it's getting bitten up, a lot of that has to do with not getting enough water, I think. I got the mulch down, but we just had some dry spells and it was too young. I should have watered it a little bit more when it was younger to help it along. Because when I dug down into the soil level at one point, it was dry. So, should you water? Do I water? I mean, it really depends on your circumstances. I water if I need to. If I dig down to the soil level and it's dry, then I water. If I dig down and it's wet, then you don't need to water. And a lot of these rhododendrons, you can see the frost got to a bunch of them just from last night, that 34 degrees temperature drop. So some of the flowers are still producing, and the whole plant just dropped and it revealed a lot of tomatoes. So I'm gonna have to go through and harvest a bunch of stuff And throughout the whole food forest, I still got a bunch of stuff to harvest. It's funny, I just did a harvest video, but there's already a number of things that need to be harvested again. Some more kale I just transplanted out in areas. And you can see this eggplant also got frost burned, but it still has some eggplant on them. I believe that the food forest kind of maintains its own temperature. I think I might have talked about that before, because it's really one unit now, all connected by the mycorrhizal association in the underground, all the fungus. It's just all one big network. So it really has its own thermal mass and its own temperature. So I think it holds the frost off better and helps insulate the plants and allows them to grow longer into the season. So there's going to be a little burned tips on the top, but I think overall it's going to help me grow later into the season. Well, I know it does because it has in the past. I mean, I'm still getting raspberries and stuff. These are tiny ones, but other sections I'm getting raspberries. I'm going to come through. I still have to cut these. These are all fall bearing raspberries, so I'll cut them all to the ground. I did a video on how to prune raspberries recently, and you can see Tuck was in here burying some peppers. Probably in the future he's going to want to eat those. He wants to come out and grab it later, but I'll leave it. Maybe a pepper will grow next year. So Tuck's doing some planting for me. That's really the only digging and the only tilling that should ever be done in here. I never tilled the soil. I never will. And nature doesn't do any tilling and digging or burying. The only thing they bury is seeds. And it's just all about layering, not mixing, all layering. That's how you get this high fertility, high production with little work. Some apple trees from seed growing everywhere. You know we got those in because you know we got the one producer did the video on that right there, the Prigioni apple. So every year we're getting more and more harvest with less work. You guys wouldn't believe, and I can't convey it to you, I wish I could somehow. You wouldn't believe how little work that I do in here, especially this time of year. After I finish staking and tying and pruning a lot of tomatoes, like the work just is over basically, and it's all about just harvesting. So I'm still harvesting, getting some eggplants and stuff here. I know I got some more peppers. I know I got some tomatoes in the back ready. There's gonna be a lot of dry beans ready. So many, all through here. Be delicious. And more tomatoes over here, ripe. This is that Goldie. What a beautiful tomato. The color, this is the one I did the video on. Man, look at that color. So beautiful. One of the reasons I love growing tomatoes. But look how dense we've got this in here. It's beautiful. All underneath a peach tree. This peach tree produced a great amount of peaches for us this year, and just so delicious. And look, there's a asparagus growing right at the base of it. Asparagus thriving, doing well. They're both doing well. There's also mint right at the base of it. More asparagus over there. More mint growing through, and then just more asparagus, all just around the base of the tree. And I didn't put that stuff in until the tree was a little older. You don't want to put that stuff in too young and suffocate the tree. So it's all, you have to do everything by timing. Look at that asparagus growing right there, beautifully, right next to grapes and right next to blackberry. So the blackberry and the grapes basically shade this asparagus out, but it still fights through. It finds the light, and it's doing great. It's going to give us good production next year. And that's my neighbor to the left of me who has a bunch of the fruit trees and stuff. And hopefully some asparagus will be shooting up on his side of the yard, sharing the love. And a lot of the strawberries have all come back and everything. Another apple tree from seed underneath that peach tree. More strawberries growing beautifully. And I'm gonna have a lot of pruning to do in these grapes, but that's fun. It's one of the things I enjoy doing. At the winter, pruning, and that monarch butterfly's back, flying above, just let me know. It's giving me a thank you, I think. And I'm giving it a thank you back, and just, I love this system and being a part of it. Coming out here and guiding it, that's what I do. I'm a steward to this kind of system. I work with it, I don't fight against it. But I work with it, and I don't serve it. I work with it. And look at these funny little peppers, pretty cool. But more ripe tomatoes hiding back there. Beautiful. So much stuff growing in here. Still getting these yellow raspberries. If you don't have these planted, these yellow and ones, you got to have these planted. I don't know why they're doing so well for me, if it's the variety, but I've been eating these things for so long. If you look back to the videos, I feel like the last like 10 weeks I've been eating these. Just because it's fall doesn't mean you guys can't be doing things to get your garden ready to get planting for next year. So get moving. If you enjoyed the video, hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, and check out the video I just made about growing an apple tree from seed. See you in the next one.